Hey guys, this is David with the Mortgage Edge podcast, brought to you by Click and Close Mortgage, driven by the Velocity team. Today, I got a very special guest way down in the valley. I guess it's called the Rio Grande Valley. Vanessa Cantu, how are you doing?
Yay! I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for inviting me today. And real estate really is my passion. So I'm glad and happy to be here speaking about real estate.
Well, I'm glad I corralled you as we talked today. Was it October the 8th on a Thursday, 2025? I had to wrangle you down because you already have a couple of closings this morning, I think. And you're such a busy woman. It's hard to even get 15 or 20 minutes with you. But the audience wants to get to know you. We want to get to know you and find out what's going on out there in the Rio Grande Valley. So, first of all, how long have you been a realtor?
You're not gonna believe it, but I've only been a realtor for 5 years.
Well, I know that, and our audience doesn't know that. But again, it's 5 years of a lot of production in those 5 years. You have bigger numbers than some of the veterans that's been in the business 20 years. So, how? I mean, what? How'd you get started? Did you just wake up one day and say, "I want to be a real estate agent," or is it in your blood, or let's talk about that. Let's rewind the clock a little bit.
Well, actually, I took my real estate courses about 12 years ago, right, with the intention of being a real estate agent. But I was a little discouraged because I didn't pass the real estate exam, which was a little shocking to me because I was, had just finished a bachelor's degree. I passed as an educator, I passed all of my exams. So that was a little shocking that I thought it would be easy. So I really didn't prepare for it, didn't pass it, got discouraged, and I stopped trying. So I was an educator for over 10 years, and I did that. And then one day I said, you know what? I think it's time for me to go back and take the exam. So I did during COVID times, and I prepared for
Okay.
it, and I passed it. And ever since then, it's just been go, 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 go.
So what triggered 5 years ago for you to go back and complete your real estate license?
Well, I think, I've had a passion for teaching, but I didn't feel like that was enough for me. Like I felt like I needed something more. I was also helping my brother, he's a general contractor as well. And I was like, hey, I have too much time on my hands. Like, can I help you? How can I help you? So I built my home, my first home 12 years ago, and I loved the process. So I started to become more involved with it, and I started building a couple houses, one a year, one every 2 years. So when I decided to go full into real estate, I said, okay, I can do both. I can do three things. I can teach, I can do real estate, and I can build right on my own. So that's what I did. But I think it was a little bit too much.
No, I don't think so. So hang on a second. So 12 years ago was whenever you started in the construction business. Is that
Yes.
right?
Uh-huh.
You built your first house and pretty much have built a house ever since then. Is this a small construction company? Or are you building one at a time?
It's
What's
a
going
small
on with your construction?
construction company, and the max I've built is about four at a time.
Okay. Okay. Well, so it's not like you just all of a sudden started real estate. You've been in real estate for the last 20 years. You just now decide to go out there and start selling and representing and everything else.
Right.
So that's awesome. So, well, how is the landscape in the Rio Grande Valley? The last 3 years has been kind of crazy. What's the market like down there? Tell us a little bit about the Rio Grande Valley.
With the Rio Grande Valley, it's we've been very fortunate. Some of us agents, I feel the market has definitely slowed down. It is a buyer's market. It's nothing compared to COVID times, right? Um, but I just feel that the houses are in the longer for a little longer. It's nothing compared to what it was 5 years ago. But people are still buying. People are still building. People still need to relocate, or they still starting a family. They still need a house. It's just the different strategy that the different approach we have to take when we are trying to, work hard and get those leads. Every year for me since I've started, luckily, has been a better year. I've never decreased on sales volume, regardless of the market, it's always increased.
That's amazing, Vanessa. So you're a super busy lady. Let's talk a little bit about that family life. I know you have two kids. Husband?
No, no husband.
I got you. So a single mom raising two kids, working all the time. So what is that? What you're so busy. What's that life look like? Are you working 7 days a week, 24/7, or for your clients, or what's that? Talk to me about that.
No, I don't work 24/7. I have a time. I like to time block a lot, right? Usually Sundays for my family, for my kids, and that's the time I give. If I really have to, work, I will make an exception here and there if it's like an emergency or something. But I try to take Sundays off because I feel like family is super important, and there's things that can wait. I
Yeah.
value my time a lot. I'm also very involved in our community with different organizations around the community. I have Airbnbs that I manage. I do construction. I have my son who's in sports. My daughter's in college. So I try to, you know, really, really manage my time as best as I can for my clients. And I communicate that very well with my clients. They know that during the day, I'm here, to assist you, to help you in everything you need. After a certain time, we have to respect each other's time because at the end of the day, I am a human, I am a mother. And so, yeah, people I'm sure understand that.
They definitely do, and the reason why I bring that up is because people like to do business with people like them. You're a mother, you're out there juggling just like everybody else, and so you understand what they're looking for in a house or when buying a house or selling their house and stuff like that. So that's awesome, man. With that being said, 5 years in the real estate business, that's not very long, but you're not a rookie, and I would definitely say you're a veteran. Uh, what can you think of a transaction that when you first started in real estate that really made you say, hey, you know what, this is why I'm real estate? Is there a transaction that comes across to you that said, this is very special and this is my calling, I'm going to be a realtor for the rest of my life?
Yeah, I think my very first transaction, which is a veteran family, really touched me and how appreciative they were of, me helping them find their new home. That they didn't know that was my first transaction. I didn't tell them that until we closed, and they were actually surprised. But just the appreciation that they had in in the role that I played when, getting them the keys to their dream home, that just made me feel so, so special. And coming from a Hispanic family, that came to the US, struggling, my mom sent me out here to get my education. And one day I was staying here, and one day I was staying there. So it was never like a feel of home. So giving families and kids that really touches my heart.
That's awesome. That's why people love you so much. But I want to rewind because you just alluded to something. So you're a first generation American?
Yes, I am the only one out of six who was born and educated here in the US.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So you can relate to everybody, everybody, but being first generation, immigrant here, and you flourish since then, and how you flourish, I think, is home ownership, right? It's the beginning of wealth, because at the end of the day, there's, back in your home country, there's a lot of people that can't afford houses, or it's just, it's a different means. But the fact that you can be a first generation immigrant here and move into a house is an amazing thing.
Yes, it is.
So with that being said, what percentage of the people you deal with in the Rio Grande Valley Hispanic? I would imagine quite a pretty large amount, right?
Yes, the majority of them,
Yeah,
90% at least.
yeah, gotcha. Well, it's the Rio Grande Harlingen area. So you've been there how long?
I've been here since I was 10 years old. So 31 years. Back and forth because I did have my break. I moved to Mexico for a few years when I got married, started raising my daughter over there, then moved back. So it's been a back and forth, but yeah, I was sent here to Harlingen to get my education when I was about 10.
Gotcha. Well, so 31 years, so you know the landscape of the land. You know everything about it. You've seen the growth, you've seen everything about the lay of the land. No wonder you're so good at what you do. So you get an inside perspective of what's going on out there. Talk to me about the real estate market out there. Is it, what's an average home out there? Because
About
it's been
240,000. It depends on which county, but usually Rio Grande, we're talking about anywhere between 250 to 80. That's the average price here.
So that's very affordable.
Mm.
When you're talking about the average price in a lot of counties, depending on where you're at, could be anywhere from 350, 450, 550. You know, so at 240, that's still reasonable. Hey guys, if you want to get a good home, move to Harlingen, move to the Rio Grande Valley.
Yeah.
Uh,
Even to invest, I tell all the people, like, if you have the way you have, if you have a way of investing, you can always. I just built a duplex and closing on the duplex today, and for 319,000, brand new, over 2,000 square feet, car garage, beautiful, modern, and it's very affordable.
yeah, absolutely. So what is it? Is it? Do you get a lot of investors down there buying houses?
I do have several investors here that do a lot of rental properties. They invest, they flip, and they resell, or some of them they just keep them to for their rental portfolio.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, with that being said, I know you get a lot of leads, and we kind of talked about it offline. But you don't buy any Zillow leads. You don't buy lead on everything. Everything you do is organic. And one things that you told me is, I get a lot of leads from other builders. Are the smaller builders like yourself, or some of the larger ones? How does that work?
Smaller builders like myself, local builders, also my subcontractors who refer me to other builders, and just people that know me for new construction that want to have someone that has that experience in new construction to represent them when they're buying, maybe not necessarily my new construction, but just a new construction.
Yeah, yeah. Well, one thing we see a lot now is there's a lot of listings, but there's not many buyers. You're about 50-50. How you tend to be really consistent out there. You haven't seen the decline in the last couple of years out there. Like I see, like I look at your production and you've done this year over year. You've had a better year over year. That's why I love bringing someone like you on here who has 5 years in the business, and you think the real estate market's booming, where I bring on someone that's 20 years and they think it's declining. So,
Yeah.
what
No.
do you think the interest rates has affected the market at all, or?
Um, I feel that a lot of people are waiting for interest rates to drop. But at the end of the day, I just feel like maybe those people were not ready to buy regardless, because a lot of times I tell my clients, hey, don't look at the interest rate. You can always refinance it later when it comes down, and you're not going to get all the perks that buyers are getting right now. So when it's the time to buy, it's now, because you're a buyer and this is the buyer's market. There's so much inventory, there's so much to choose from. There's so many desperate sellers that are willing to give you closing costs. Literally, I've had buyers that walk out of the closing table with a check. That's the beauty of a buyer's market.
That's awesome. And what percentage of those buyers are first time home buyers for you? I'm gonna guess it's pretty high, right?
Pretty high. Yeah, I would say a lot of them are first time home buyers, or yeah, the majority, if not 80% of them.
Are you having a challenge in getting them pre qualified in this market, or are they all pretty good? Or
Um, I normally don't. Yes, I have a few that are just not ready, but usually when a buyer comes there, they're pretty educated on what they need. And if they're not quite ready, I tell them, okay, let's get you ready and let's work with you for a whole year to get you where you need to be. So there's not such thing as long as the buyer is willing, we're gonna get them there. Whether it takes a year or 6 months, whatever, but we're gonna get them there.
that's right. That's why you have to work with someone that's good. Not everybody comes in pre qualified and ready to go right now. Some people are on a 6 month plan, 1 year plan. Some people are on 2 and 3 year plans. But I say it all the time. If you want to buy a house, they definitely will get you ready. Well, man, it's been a pleasure talking to you today. Is there anything that we should have talked about today that we didn't talk about?
I know, not on my end. I think we covered the most important points, and I want to thank you for the time today. And of course, I would love to see what you guys have to share and what you all think our people from the valley would benefit from that you can offer them, right? Because I'm
Well,
always looking open to hearing other people's programs and whatever new stuff they have coming out.
Well, it's the industry's consolidated. As a lender ourselves, one of the things that we have is we have a lot of robust programs out there. There's ITIN loans. There's for people that own their own business, you can get into bank statement loans. You can get into, but pretty much, I tell people all the time, if you fill out the application, we'll find a program out there because there's so many programs out there right now that can get them qualified. So we'll definitely get that out to you. Get you on the list. We even have programs where how the bigger builders like Lennar and DR Horton are getting rates in the fours and stuff like that. We have programs like that where we can buy down your rate as permanently as part of working with builders and everything else. So we'll talk a little bit more about it offline. But absolutely, we can definitely help out with a lot of that stuff.
Okay.
Well, if the people in the Rio Grande Valley want to find you, and I know they do, Vanessa, how they get hold of you?
Well, they can reach out me through social media. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I have my Linktree website, my phone number, email, everything is on there. I can share that with you, and I can share my electronic card as well.
Yeah, do you want to go ahead and give your phone number, and then we'll display it across the lower thirds? What's
Right.
your phone number there?
My phone number is 956-970-2851.
And guys, if you're looking for the best realtor in the Rio Grande Valley, don't hesitate to pick up the phone and call her. And if you saw this live, you saw her number go across the lower thirds. With that being said, Vanessa, thank you for being with us today. I know you got more closings to go to. It's the beginning of your week. I know our weekends are getting super busy. So with that being said, thank you for being with us. I'm David Wynn with the Mortgage Edge Podcast. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Thank you.
All right. So